husband and wife, or we assume husband and wife, and they're getting into an argument. You ever see that in public? I'm the only one? Okay, here's the scene. My wife and I are walking up to a restaurant, and we weren't quite sure where it was, so we're kind of just walking. Lady standing outside of the door of this tavern, and she's looking at the guy who's just sitting there with a mad face on, and he's pulling out a cigarette, and she goes, "Well, are you coming in or am I drinking alone?" And he's like, "Well, I guess you're drinking alone." Okay, so I quickly, and this is why I keep a wide assortment of tracts on me. I pulled out this tract. Okay, you can't read this tract from there, but I'm going to tell you what it says. It says, "Everything man has learned about a woman." I just walked over and said, "Sir, I think you need to read this." And he starts reading it. "Everything man has learned about a woman." And it's empty. And then I say, "Make sure you read the back, because the back has the little gospel tract." Okay? They start like, I did this in Dunkin' Donuts, and as couples sitting there at Dunkin' Donuts arguing, they're right next to me. And here's the thing that I did, is I just turned to her and said, "Ma'am, I think you might need this." And she just looked at me weird. She starts laughing. Now, while she's sitting there and she goes, hits her husband, "You need this." Meanwhile, I paid their bill. She didn't pick up on that right away. Good thing, there's also another thing. You want to start conversations, be generous. Okay? There's someone actually who's here coming for Awana this morning. I didn't realize, I didn't notice their Awana shirt. I gave him a tract. And I happened to give him a tract. It was this tract here, which says "Science Confirms the Bible," which afterwards I understand why she gave me this look like. But I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I give tracts before I order. Okay? Who's ever in front of me, or sometimes behind me, their meal is going to be paid. You know what? They're going to read the tract after their meal is paid. Okay? They're going to listen to what I have to say. Often. So I gave this lady this thing, and she's hitting her husband, and then I wait for the guy to say that her thing's already been paid. And then she goes, "What is this?" So I start sharing the gospel. And the interesting thing is, she said, "When you handed it to me, I just thought you were some weirdo giving me something." But because I made her laugh and paid her meal, they listened. They wanted to hear, why are you doing this? All right? Tracts, there's certain tracts that are really good for just handing out and going. All right? These two tracts, these three actually, are tracts you can just, if you want to these are good because they're real small, so you can shove a lot of them in your pocket. Here you go. You get one of these? Good question to ask is, if you're going to give a tract, did you get one of these? Not do you want one? Because what's the answer to do you want one? No, of course they don't. Did you get one? What's the answer? No. There you go. All right? These three that I use are good because they explain a lot. All right? This one, this is a fun one. This is the type of tract that what you do, it looks like a crumpled up bill, and you just kind of throw it on the ground and walk away. Now you have to rationalize with yourself if you consider it littering or not. I don't consider it littering because it always gets picked up. Okay, here's literally what I had. This happened. I'm in Chinatown. I was sitting making a phone call. Now my theory was if it sat there for too long, I was going to pick it up. So I threw it on and I walk over here. And I just sit and watch it. I see a guy pulling all this garbage out. It's a big thing of garbage. And he does one of these. And he goes to pick it up, and this whole thing of garbage starts falling. He's like setting up the garbage. And 3 times before he finally went. You know what this is going to ask him? Have you ever stolen anything? I had another one. I don't have any more, but it looks like a wallet. I did the same thing. I dropped it in Dunkin' Donuts. I leave it on. I drop it on the table here. I sit over here. It's entertainment. I see the guy. It's cardboard. He knows it's cardboard, but what does it ask? If this wallet was real, what would you have done with it? A, keep it, keep the money, throw the thing out, try to find the owner, return it, Then it asks, have you ever stolen anything? Of course you just took someone's wallet. Or you thought it was someone's wallet. Here's one. It's a ticket to heaven. And if you take these, the encouragement is, tell them to read it first, and if they don't think they need a ticket to heaven, just tear right here. It's reinforced right there. They can't rip it. And you see, and then while they're trying to rip it, you share the gospel. Because you're having trouble with it. Maybe you do need that. Okay? And you can, because it's fun, you know, you get these big guys, I love it when the big guys, because I think they, and they're trying to rip it, and meanwhile, I have about 3 minutes to share the gospel with them. Because they're busy doing that. By the time they get done doing that, they're engaged in a conversation. Now I've started. Now they forget about that, and I have a conversation going. Okay? A great one, and there's several different kinds of $1 million bill. I wonder if I have some. I practice some of the others. I get my tracks from some different places. Living Waters. I don't have any of the. I have ones that have Obama on them, which are fun to give out. People always take them. There's ones with Michael Jackson on them. Let me tell you some quick sources of where I get tracks from. You can go to livingwaters.com. And you can go to customtracksource.com. Both of them are places to get where you can get tracks. There's some others like evangelismteam.com. But if you email me, I have a list of places where I get my tracks from, and I can send them to you. There is a business card up here. Okay, I put the business card up here so that if you want to get tracks, you want me to come into your church with a team of people, train people up, and go out and take you out evangelizing, or you just want to go, I want to evangelize, but I need someone to go with. We'll partner you up with someone. So. Let's see, what other tracks? There's some over here called IQ tests that you have to look at to see what it's basically just different things. Like this one will just say, you read it, all the words are slammed together, you just say, what does it say? I find it interesting, Christians always say God is now here, and non-Christians always say God is nowhere. It's an interesting thing. This is just, again, it starts the conversation. That's the whole thing. Use the track. I believe tracks are to start conversations. You get someone that says an atheist, you can give them one of these. They'll take it and walk away if they don't want a conversation, but at least the atheist test. I do this a lot when I'm in public. People come up to me and say, well, I'm a Christian.